Number one, many concern. Number one, we don't have a commission. And that is a serious issue. Number two, even if you got the commission tomorrow, the commission has to do certain things. Number one, the commission has got a backlog of by-election to be done. Right. Number two, going by the requirements of Article 89 of the Constitution, the commission must do boundary delimitation. And the law says that the boundary delimitation must be completed a minimum of 12 months before the date of the next general election. If we agree, if we settle that the next general election is August 2017, and there are debates about that, but let's say it is, to me, I would say it is 2017, less 12 months, that brings you to August 2026. Oh, yeah. August 2026 from now is about 18 months. So IEBC has 18 months to do those by-elections, all of them. IEBC has 18 months to complete the process of boundary delimitation. Now, what does it take to do boundary delimitation? As Latif summarized earlier, after the disbandment of the Electoral Commission, Kenya government formed two constitutional bodies, one interim election body, one interim boundaries. The boundaries one took about 2 years to do its work. So it is a good presumption to say that boundary delimitation in Kenya on this scale will take 2 years, going by the precedence of what was done by the interim independent boundaries commission. If it is 2 years, already we don't have time. Number two, boundaries delimitation is not sitting down in a room with a sheet of paper, a ruler, and a pencil,
and a map,
and a rubber. No. The Constitution at Article 89 says those things that must be done in order to do a boundary delimitation. There are factors. There are about 6 of them, which are listed in Article 89 of the Constitution. You must follow those. Now, the thing is even more difficult because if you read the judgment that is called the BBI judgment, or the David Ndii case, if you recall. The David Ndii case is where the handshake government tried to create 73 constituencies. And then if the constitutional amendment had gone through, they were creating 72 constituencies. And after they were created, IEBC would now do the delimitation thereafter.
Yeah.
This thing went to the High Court, to the Court of Appeal, and to the Supreme Court. If you read the judgment of the High Court, and this is relevant in this case, and I presume IEBC are cognizant of this fact, the High Court, and this opinion was also upheld by the Court of Appeal. The two courts held that, one, you can change the number of constituencies through parliamentary process, what is called the secondary constitutive power. But you cannot change the factors that you need in order to do the boundary delimitation. Those are two different things.
Is the delimitation mandatory? Because we could go into the election with boundaries as they are.
You could. You can go with because already we did without that. But the Constitution provides that you do it between 8 years and 12 years. And already we did without it. But the question is...
The last was in 2012?
Yes.
Okay.
The question is, what you're asking, can you go to an election now without doing that boundary delimitation? Remember what Article 1 and 2 and 3 of the Constitution talks about. It talks about the sovereignty of the people. The Constitution Article 89 also talks about, one of the factors is called population quota. Population quota means dividing the number of people in the country with the number of constituencies. Why is that important? It is important because the same Constitution talks about the equality of the vote. If you factor all those things and you're dealing with the sovereignty of the people, which is so critical that it is Article 1, can you then say that I'm disregarding that, proceeding ahead with figures which are almost 10, 15, 20 years late?
Yeah.
Would that still amount to representation? Are the people still sovereign?
Right.
You've lost, because Article 89(2) of the Constitution, and here it is, it says the IEBC shall review the names and boundaries of constituencies at shall.
Yes.
Operating word shall.
Yes.
Shall review at intervals of not less than 8 years
Yes.
and not more than 12 years.
Yes.
But any review shall be completed at least 12 months before a general election
Yes.
of members of parliament.
Yes. So that's what I was telling you. But as you go ahead, there, you will find it directs you
On how to
now
do it.
that you must do it. These are the things that you must use to do.
Yep.
But the judgment which I'm referring to, which is now law, tells you you can mess with the numbers. You can change the numbers. That's okay. What you cannot change through the normal amendment process are those factors. You must keep in those factors. Why is that important? Because if you don't follow those factors, you end up with what the Americans call gerrymandering, which means drawing constituency boundaries based on whimsical matters. So to make sure that you have equality of representation and all those things, and to avoid gerrymandering, you must follow those factors. Why is that important?
Those
because
factors are geographical features,
there's geographical
and
features,
urban centers,
community
community
of
interests, historical, economic, and cultural ties,
Those ones.
means of communication, and so on and so
those
forth.
ones. Something else, because we're talking about Shida the IBC Akonazo. The name of this commission is Independent Elections and Boundaries Commission. It conjures, it presumes that these things are co-equal. The boundary function and the election function are co-equal, going by the name.
Yeah.
Prima facie. But IEBC has 9 directorates, if I recall well. None of those is dedicated to boundary delimitation. And as we are speaking today, if I'm right, boundary delimitation is left to a department within the directorate, within the directorate of risk. Number one, therefore, these are not co-equal. Regular Commission said the functions of boundary delimitation and the functions of election cannot be done by one body. Should be done by different bodies. That is what they do in India. That's what they do in South Africa. But in our own wisdom as a country, we collocated all those functions in one body. Now, when you are doing it now, as we must do it now, it means you must do it in a manner that addresses the issue of sovereignty of the people, number one. Number two, in a manner that makes sure that you talk about those things that were emphasized in the David Ndii case, what is called the BBI judgment. The court, High Court and Court of Appeal thought that this thing was so important, Latif, that they came up with something called minimum structure doctrine, which means the Constitution provides how you can amend it. This one says, for you